Hello YouTube fans. Now, as I'm doing the rambles, why not? I remember one of my favourite subscribers asked me to do this. I did Santa Claus the movie and he liked it, and he asked me, Pete, will you do the Wookiee films next? So for one of my favourite subs, that's been my nephew, I'm going to do it. Why not? I'm going to do it. That being Wookiee. That's right, I say it again, Wookiee. Classic from 1976. What can I say about Wookiee? Now, as you know, Sylvester Stallone, a bit like me, the underdog, he was trying to make it big. He did films well before Wookiee, and I'm not going to talk about the Italian Stallion, which I might just include that. You know, he did do an adult film, soft, but he did an adult film. And at the time, he was trying to make it big in the acting career, you know what I mean? He was trying to make it big, and most of his films weren't that successful, or it was never a big role. And he fought, and he was inspired, believe it or not, by a boxer. You know, this boxer didn't win the round and all this, but he went the distance. He fought a big fighter back in his heyday, didn't win the round, but he went the distance, and he was known for that. He was an underdog, and he was known that way. And it inspired Sylvester Stallone, naturally, to do the film Wookiee. Written it, did star in it, and a lot of movie producers didn't want him to star in it. They wanted to take the rights and wanted to give it to all sort of actors. Paul Newman was one of them, believe it or not, and a lot of other well-known actors. Marlon Brando, he was going to be the role of Wookiee, not making this shit up, and a lot of other well-known actors. But at the end, they decided, and they said, yeah, go on then, but you're not going to have as much money then if it would have taken your rights, meaning rights to the film, and the rest is history. Sylvester Stallone did it, and he looked for an actor who he was going to fight, you know, to play the role of Apollo Creed. And that's when Witherspoon took over the role. You got Adrian, beautiful woman in that era, beautiful woman, and you've got them all. And it's a good story. I mean, he's a down and out. He's fighting in clubs and pubs and all this, and you know, he's trying to make something of himself, but he's basically just a bum fighter. However, Apollo Creed, he's a typical businessman, really. He's not getting that much in the fighting sense, and he's looking for someone like the underdog, you know, big talent boy, let's just take this person on. And I like his arrogance. Oh, I'll knock him out in the first. I'll let him hit me a few times. I'll have to knock him out on the second and third round. I'll just beat him. And we all know the rest. He doesn't. He goes the distance in this. And let's not forget that Mr. Bat Donde, the one who did the music, who was also well known for doing the music For Your Eyes Only, the classic James Bond film, For Your Eyes Only. But a lot of people remember the music. When people do a workout, they always think of the music that as well as Flying High. What was another bit of music? I think it was only ever used though in Wookiee 1 and Wookiee 2, which is the same. I love that music. And people don't know that music. They go, I'm gonna stop because I'll probably batter the rest. And I love the scene where he's in the meat fats, and you've got the buffer of Adrian, that being Paul, and he's punching it. You know what I mean? And you know, Paul himself in the original Wookiee, I thought he was a bit of a dick, but as the films go on, you get to like Paulie. You'd have to like even Wookiee's trainer, that being Mick, who we all remember in the 60s playing the Penguin in the Batman series, Batman and Robin, may he rest in peace. And he's brilliant, you know, he's his trainer. He's just like how the old trainers were that era, you know. Sweat! I swear, you use that other arm, I'm gonna chop it off. Don't take chicks. And I just love the scene where Rockie's snapping up and Mick wants to be his trainer. Just wait, that's right, it stinks! You want to move here? You want to move here? Come on, move here! He's going on ape shit, and then he says that line, yeah, it tastes wonderful, yeah, move in, yo, yeah, it stinks! I love it, I just love it. And again, you know, Wookiee does see he goes for thing, and I love to see him and says, yeah, I'm going to fight the fight, I'm going to goddamn kill him. And again, you got the Rocky theme, and you know, there's bits in it where Rocky doesn't think he's going to win, he doesn't think he's going to mount to anything, but he does say that epic line to Adrian. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do it all, and I'm gonna go the distance. And again, you got the epic fight scene. And the first fight scene in Rocky, I didn't think it was that impressive. You know, a few hits here and a few hits here, but it does have a good bit of history. The actor Witherspoon and Sylvester Stallone, they improvised that fight, believe it or not, because on the day they did the fight, they practiced, they did the hitting, they did the punching and all this, and it shows it as special features. It shows how they did the fast thing and how it looks like they're really hitting one another. But some of it they've forgotten on the day, so some of it they had the makeup on the fucking day. And another bit of interesting news was Sylvester Stallone had the fake bruise on his eye and the fake busted nose, you know, the makeup, and they couldn't fucking find it. But they've come to the next scene where he was all busted up and, you know, you're going to cut my eye, you're going to cut my eye. He couldn't find it, and they were there for hours looking for the fucking thing. And lucky enough, they managed to find it in one of the dustbins, what accidentally was put in a bin because they had so much of this makeup. And they managed to put the makeup back on, you know, make him like had the busted eye and everything. And then they just got on with the fight scene, which is a good bit of history. I do remember originally it was going to end where it was all faded back. You might see it in a few posters where he would hold Adrian's hand and they'd walk off in the light and it fades to black, which is a crying shame. But apart from that, I do love the actual scene because in the end everyone remembers the ending of Rocky. You know, Adrian! Adrian! And the scene where Adrian's running and then that falls off. Where's your at, Adrian? But I love it, I just love it, you know what I mean? And when you think about it, it launched Sylvester Stallone. Launched him after this, you know. Did a lot of other films, sadly wasn't as successful. But then he did Rocky 2, Rocky 3, which same year, he did another classic film, the one I've just reviewed, that being First Blood. And it launched a lot of other things. It definitely launched a name for him. And, you know, he made it big in action, and he also proved he can be a damn good actor. Now, I know over the years a lot of people have given him Rotten Tomatoes, you know, that shit, Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of people have shagged him off and insulted his acting, but in this I thought he played it right. He played it fucking right. He was the underdog. He didn't fuck around being the underdog. And like I say, I will do the tests. And so that one's for you, Dylan. I hope you like my review. So the picture's a bit shit today. But yeah, you know, I like Rocky. I think it's a classic. You think of classic films, you think of fucking Rocky. You know, to me, he was the underdog. He didn't win the first fight, you know. But to me, I think that was fixed. I think, you think about it, right? He's hitting Mick here, there, everywhere. He's always going to beat Mick. He busts his ribs, and he would have beaten him. But I think, man, fuck himself. They knew that Rocky was going to win. He was an unknown fighter at the time, and on purpose they ring that bell. Points my fucking ass. He should have won that fight, and that's where you get the sequel. And I don't think there was going to be a sequel, the thingy, but as we all know, in 1976 it won an award, the film, rightly so. Shy made a name of himself, became a big blockbuster, money talks, and a sequel was made. Maybe I'll talk about that one on the way. That will be Rocky 2. Into then, round 1 to me. I'll pick up a round 2 hopefully soon, that being Rocky 2. And there's a rematch. Into then, I'll see you soon.